Hello, Seahawks, and thank you for joining us once again for another Student Live. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them right down below. And if you could, go ahead and take a minute to share this stream with somebody in your social network who you feel could benefit from today's segment. And so today we're actually continuing our newest series and introducing you all to each of our fabulous Board of Trustees members. So let's go ahead and meet today's special guest.
Hello, Seahawks. Thanks for having me on. My name is Reggie Zachariah, and I've been a trustee for about a year now. I'm a shareholder at Greenberg Traurig, an international law firm in the Fort Lauderdale office, focusing mostly on mergers and acquisitions, but corporate and securities work in general.
We are so excited to have you with us today, Trustee Zachariah. And as you mentioned, you've been now with the board for a year, and an interesting one at that. So how is 2021 treating you so far?
2021 has been a very interesting year. I have a lot of hope for the year. I think, with the vaccines coming out, and I think we're going to get back to life, normal life sooner than later, and really excited for the opportunities and for life getting back closer to normal.
Absolutely. I think we all definitely share that sentiment. So as we kind of delve into all about you, I'd love to start off by finding out a little bit more about your journey, how you discovered your passion in life.
So I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale, and growing up, I really enjoyed computers. I loved building them. I loved playing computer games. And I also loved business. And in middle school and high school, I used to have these like little small businesses that I would start where I would either buy products in bulk and then I would sell them to my classmates or my friends, things like knickknacks and sunglasses, or sometimes I would also buy video games wholesale and then sell them to my friends. And I really both enjoyed business and computers. And so then when it was time to apply to college, I was trying to decide between either going into undergraduate business school or studying computer science. And it was a tough decision, but I ended up going to undergraduate business school. And looking back in hindsight, this was back in 1999. Maybe it wasn't the right decision given how big tech has become, but I got to tell you, I love business. And so after graduating from college, I worked in-house for a public company, and I was working on their in-house mergers and acquisitions. And my role was pretty much focused on the finance side, and loved it. But on all of these deals, we had lawyers, and when the really complex problems would arise, I always found it was the lawyers who were really critical in navigating these complex issues and resolving them. And for me, that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. And I loved the value add that they brought. And so I went to law school to essentially do that, to do mergers and acquisitions from the legal side. And believe it or not, I ended up, after a short clerkship, working with those same lawyers that I worked with back when I was in-house. And so I've been with Greenberg Traurig for almost 10 years now, and absolutely love what I do, and just love working with our clients on whatever complex issues and problems arise and helping them accomplish what they want to accomplish.
That's so awesome to hear. I actually feel like a lot of professionals probably your story resonates in a sense, because we tell our students all the time, like, one of the things that you can do is pay attention to those opportunities that constantly come your way, whether it's in college or right after college, and figure out if you're in something that's the right fit for you. So I love it. Like you said, like, you went right into the working field after you graduated and very quickly were able to identify, like, yes, this was the thing for me, but also this is the path that it needs to take me on in order for you to determine to go to law school. I think that's great. So is there anything specific from your college experience, whether it was undergrad or grad, that really stands out to you as like a meaningful memory?
So there's so many meaningful memories and so many incredible moments that I had in college. And so choosing just one is pretty difficult. And, I found the curriculum very challenging, which I enjoyed. I found, and I found them very interesting. And I also learned so much from my classmates. And my classmates, they were from all over the world and all from all different kinds of walks of life. And just being with them and talking to them, even about non-class related stuff, was something where I learned a lot about their viewpoints and different viewpoints, but also learned a lot about myself. And so um, my college experience in general was amazing. But if I had to choose what, a meaningful memory that I'd love to share, there is one that sticks out. And it was the last day of my auditing class. And I know auditing doesn't sound very exciting, and why am I talking about this? But on the last day of class, we came in with our backpacks like we usually would, and the professor said, "Don't unpack your bags. We're going to go outside." And so he said, "We're going to take a field trip." So we took our bags, we went outside, we followed him, and he found a grassy area that we could all sit on. And he just proceeded for the next hour and a half to talk about kind of practical advice, practical life advice, practical career advice. Nothing of it had anything to do with auditing, but there were so many nuggets of wisdom that he gave that still today stick with me. And one of the main ones that really stuck with me is that you can't do all of this alone. To be successful in life, it takes a team to do it. And you can't just, you can be technically proficient and you can be excellent at whatever you do, and that's a great thing to do. But that alone is not going to get you to where you probably want to get to. And a lot of his talk was focusing on building your network, cultivating your network, and giving to your network and adding value to the network, and not just and when I say giving, it doesn't have to be giving money, right? It's giving your time, giving your expertise, giving your experience, connecting people, right? If someone's looking for a job in some industry and someone there, connect them. Anything like that will pay off in the long run. And I have to tell you, for my personal career, that is very much the case.
It's funny. It sounds like with a lot of our students, I think that they have, or hopefully they will have, similar experiences where maybe it's a faculty member that inspires them in that sense, or stands out to them, one of those memories that they take away from college. Is there anyone else that also has kind of served as that inspiration, or other things that have inspired you throughout your career?
So I have to say, I find inspiration in a lot of people, in a lot of things, in a lot of actions that people do. I truly believe that on any given day, any one of us can be inspirational. And I think it's something for us to keep in mind, because you never know who's watching when we're out there. And I've just been very, very lucky to have just a lot of great people in my life, whether it's friends, mentors, family, coworkers, classmates. And so I've just been, inspired by people, for example, who leave their comfort zone and don't mind venturing into the unknown. And for example, my father, he was born and raised in India, had never left India really, and decided he wanted to come to the United States and be a cardiologist here and start his own practice. And he did, and I find that very inspirational. I find folks who don't just accept the prevailing beliefs in conventional wisdom as truth. You look at someone like Elon Musk. I mean, everyone's like, electric cars are stupid. Renewable energy, no, that's nothing. You don't need to be sending rockets into space. And he says, no, these are things that we need to be doing. And he bucked the conventional wisdom and, has been successful. And I always find inspirational people who have a lot of energy and enthusiasm and motivation to make a positive contribution to life. And I think our very own President Hale is a great example of that. He is someone who, just is really enthusiastic and energetic about the mission of the college. And I find him to be very inspirational.
Absolutely. Actually, and speaking of President Hale, I'm curious to know what led you to Broward College.
So I think, it kind of happened almost accidentally. So I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale, and I'm a lifelong Broward County resident. I left a couple times for school, but I've always come back. This is my home. And Broward has given a lot to me. And I want to give back to Broward. And so what better way to give back to Broward County than to try to, give my time to Broward College, which I really believe is one of the key pillars of our Broward community.
Yeah, absolutely. And, our organization's mission, which obviously I'm sure you're familiar with as a trustee, is to transform lives. It's at the heart of what we're doing. So as part of that appeal and as part of kind of what led you to Broward College, what about our mission that specifically speaks to you?
There are so many things about Broward College's mission that speak to me, but there's a few in particular that really, really resonate with me. Broward College empowers its students, most of whom, either are citizens of Broward County, will become members of Broward County, or have been members of Broward County. And Broward College empowers them by giving them skills, credentials, and increasing their earning capacity. And Broward College is also just a phenomenal resource for the community in general, and an important partner. It's not just empowering our students, but Broward College also helps meet the workforce needs of our local businesses and is also creating new business leaders in the community. And another thing that really resonates with me about Broward College's mission is helping economically challenged and underserved neighborhoods throughout the Broward County community. And I think this is best exemplified by Broward Up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to your point, the college knows who its audience is and is willing to pour into that audience, which is literally our community. That's the whole intent behind usually a two-year institution, is that, like I said, your largest investment is your surrounding neighborhoods and your communities, and like you said, your residents. And I think that absolutely is something that not just faculty and staff that we get to see, but I think it resonates with our students as well. So I'd have to totally agree with you. And I know that this is kind of a unique situation for a lot of our students, right? They don't get to interact with the board too much. So do you have any career advice, any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our Seahawks based on your own personal experiences?
I think there's a lot of items I could talk about here, but I'll try to keep it down to just a handful. As I kind of mentioned before, you can't do it alone. Build your network, cultivate your network, keep in touch with your peers. Your classmates, they're part of your network, and you got to keep in touch with them. And it's got to be meaningful, and learn from your peers, and have high expectations for yourself and reasonable expectations for others. If you do that, you won't be disappointed. And you got to have high expectations for yourself, and you got to set very high goals, because otherwise, what are you working towards? Listen. I think too often people just want to talk and be heard, and that's great. But a lot of times I think it's just really important to listen to other people. And I think you will learn a lot that way. And I think it'll help you excel in whatever job you end up doing. And the last thing I'd say is work hard, right? Hard work is the price of admission. I don't think hard work alone is enough. But if you don't work hard, it's going to be awfully hard to be successful in whatever it is you want to do. And don't take shortcuts. They just don't work. The reality is you really just have to put the time in and the effort in. And for me, those are kind of the big tidbits I'd like to share.
Yeah, there's a lot to take away there. One of the things that you said actually just stuck with me was the piece about setting high expectations for yourself, but reasonable expectations for others. I think that gets lost sometimes when we do have the spirit of excellence for ourselves, as we kind of implore that on other people. So I love that you threw in saying like reasonable expectations for others, right? Not everybody has to have the same level of expectations. So I love that you threw that in there. And I just want to thank you so much on behalf of Student Life and on behalf of the college for taking time with us to share about your journey and your story, Trustee Zachariah.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on. It was really an honor.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you so much, Seahawks, for tuning in. As always, be sure to check out the survey link in our description so you can give us feedback about today's program. And then, of course, we hope to see you again very soon. Bye.